Hi guys, Johnny and Paulina here, and we are looking at a high ankle sprain and a test that we can do for that. And this is called a stabilization test. And to do a stabilization test, you're going to need some tape. Now, most clinical stability tests, what they do is they stress the joint. Okay, so they stress the ligaments to see if there's some mechanical play or if there's a little bit more rupture and so on and so forth regards it. This does the opposite thing to any of those stress tests. So with an external rotational stress test, what you're going to do is you're going to, the patient will be sitting over the bed, their knee is going to be bent, and you're going to be stressing, you're going to be splaying the fibula from the tibia. However, with this test in the research, what happens is that you're going to put tape around the distal tibiofibular joint to add a level of stabilization or a level of protection. Now, what happens first is you get the patient to do some functional movements. So you get the patient to do some jogging on the spot, some jumping on the spot, some hopping on the spot, and they will report whether they've got symptoms on these activities. It might be kicking, it might be changing direction. It depends on the severity and obviously the diagnosis which is going on there. So let's say, for example, we got Paulina to do some hopping on the spot. And hopping on the spot reproduced her symptoms. So she reported some pain over her AITFL, and this was causing her an issue. So what we would do in this situation then is we would replicate the test with some tape on. So around the distal tibiofibular joint, we would give a little bit of stability. I'm using some zinc oxide 5 centimeter tape here. And all I'm doing is providing a level of support to stop the tibia and fibula from splaying apart. So Paulina would then go back into her movements and she would do her single leg hopping. If her symptoms reduced or if they were completely diminished, then this would be a positive sign that we have got some type of injury around the AITFL, or around the distal tibiofibular joint. Can be used from a rehab point of view as well. So if you're looking to get somebody functioning a lot quicker, then you might provide some stabilization with the tape as well. Again, like all injuries, you want to speak to the patient, so the subjective is going to give you a huge amount of the information that you've needed. You might have done your squeeze test first, then you might have done your external rotational test, and then you might have done your functional stabilization test. And as Mr. Paulina was talking about earlier on, it's a conglomerate of all these factors adding up, rather than hanging my hat on one clinical stability test. So if I was going to hang my hat on anything, it would be on the subjective. It would be on what the patient says to me anyway. And then it would be a case of, well, what in the physical examination, what added up to maybe arriving at this diagnosis. Again, if you want these types of tests, they've got low sensitivity and low specificity. If you really wanted to know what was going on within the joint, you would need a diagnostic workup. MRIs are good for high ankle sprains. But rather than kind of, hanging everything on the back of a picture, it will be more about what the patient says and what their functions are. Is it a clinically stable ankle or not? So there is the stabilization test with a bit of zinc oxide tape, functional test. They report some symptoms, look at the aggravating activities, put some tape on, see does it change. Hope you enjoy, guys.